our listeners are a bit more towards like the younger side, so I'd be surprised if they haven't seen one of your TikToks, Instagram Reels, etc. at some point. But for those that maybe haven't heard of you before, do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I basically make mixes between loads of different random songs on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and a lot of them get picked up from people using them in their own Reels. And I think a lot of people know me from the Bollywood and like Western music I put together, and especially my dad's reaction when I'm playing them to him. I think that's a quite key bit. So yeah, that's kind of what I do.
So how did you actually get into that then? Like have, because obviously you've said like it's mainly Bollywood and Western music. How do you know like what songs work together? Have you always had like just a knack for knowing what kind of beats, what kind of melodies would sound nice against each other, or is it a more recent thing that you've discovered?
Yeah, so no, like I've kind of always been musically inclined, so I feel I'm quite intuitive when I hear a song. I'm like, okay, yeah, that'll go with that song, or I can kind of match the beats in my head and just fire around with loads of different ideas until, yeah, one hits and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, it's an interesting process. I feel it can be a bit trial and error sometimes, but I feel most of the time it's just like I'm like got loads of ideas in my head, and yeah, intuition I think just makes it happen.
And is it like something that you've been doing for a while, or is it only because obviously you've blown up relatively recently in terms of you getting widespread traction? Is it just since then that you've been doing this, or have you been doing this for a while?
I think mostly I was predominantly focused on like producing my own music, and music was always like so close to me. I used to love playing instruments and mainly producing music. And like DJing and mixing was just stuff I did kind of on the side just for fun as well. But then I saw it kind of gain a lot of traction when I was putting these music mixes out, and that's when I thought, okay, I can use this platform to get a lot more music out and really, I don't know, explore my creativity in that sense as well.
And obviously, quite a lot of people have been enjoying it. I mean, currently, I went and checked before this. You've got over 280k Instagram followers, over 720k on TikTok. What's it been like seeing just how many people are actually enjoying what you're doing, what you've created, and especially also seeing like celebrities enjoying it as well?
Yeah, it's a bit mind blowing. I'm just doing this out of like my living room. So to see it go this far, this quickly, I mean, like a year ago, like pretty much none of this was happening. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty mind blowing. Social media is a crazy thing. And I'm so grateful for all the support and all the love I get from these mixes and stuff. Yeah, it's actually really inspiring for me as well.
I mean, you mentioned before as well about how your people enjoy seeing your dad's reactions to it as well. And like, I've seen through, since you started putting out content, I'd say family has been like quite a key element to what you're doing. Like, so have your family always been really interested in your creations, or was it just that you showed it to them once and then you're like, oh, okay, this is actually quite funny. Let's start like doing this as a regular thing?
Yeah. So I think whenever I like make a song or something, I always like to get an outside opinion, and most of the time they're the first person, like they're the first people that are around. So normally I'm like, okay, just have a quick listen, see what you think. And yeah, I started getting my dad's reactions, and I just happened to start recording it. And when I uploaded it, I was like, okay, this is actually really entertaining because he doesn't know what's coming next. And to get his reaction on it, and yeah, I think it adds such a entertainment factor to the whole thing as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, we picked up that it works. So when I make a mix, I'd always want to see his reaction. I feel like I might as well record it before I show it to him. Yeah, that's what we do now.
So coming on to the reason for this interview as well is you've dropped your debut single as an official single that's gone out on streaming platforms, etc. Desi Bop. What was the process behind making it, and why did you decide, okay, this is like the mashup that I want to be my first official single?
Yeah, so I feel like my first official one, I wanted it to be like a completely Bollywood, so not mixed with Western. I wanted it to be like predominantly like a Bollywood track, but at the same time I wanted to revive a lot of like, I wanted to add a lot of like hip hop, not hip hop, but kind of like sort of like dance beats to it as well. So to make it something anyone could listen to at the same time. That's what I was really trying to go for with this track. And yeah, such a fun process. Went back to listening to all these songs I used to like to draw inspiration, and Why This Color Very D is like is at the forefront of this track, which I really love. And we really added like a lot of beats to it as well, which I think it makes it easier for, you don't have to be Asian to listen to this track. It's, you know, anyone could just groove along to it, which is, yeah, that was really important for me.
Yeah, and I think as well, I'm sure you'd agree that considering like how viral your stuff is going and seeing who's enjoying it, I think maybe something like what you're doing is a good way to maybe introduce people who aren't from South Asian backgrounds into Bollywood, South Asian artists and music, etc. Because like you said, with this new single, it is solely focusing on Bollywood, but you've added in those maybe Western production elements to it, and people can still relate to that and think, okay, you know what, I might actually go back and listen to the original of this to see how he's put this together, sort of thing. So I think it's really cool. I'm sure you'd agree, like seeing how maybe you can inspire non-South Asian people to maybe engage with the culture as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's, you hit that on the head there. That's exactly kind of the vision, and if I can achieve that through this track, that would be, yeah, that's amazing. That's what I'm going for.
And what's reception to the track been like so far? Obviously it must have been a bit daunting, obviously, putting out your first track on streaming platforms, like, because although it's still mashup, so like you are still taking elements from music that's already out there, it's the first time you're kind of putting yourself out there in your own right. So how has that been?
Yeah, it's like a new experience for me as well at the same time, because yeah, as you said, it's like kind of my track at the end of the day. Not completely a mashup, is a lot of my own elements poured into it. But it was really exciting at the same time, because I feel like my audience and stuff have been so supportive, and I feel like I owe them like a track of, because they've been wanting it for a long time as well. And I was actually just really excited to get it out there. It can be a bit daunting at the same time, but I always get asked for streaming platforms, like am I on Spotify, am I on Apple Music, and now I could actually make that happen, which was actually so exciting for me. So yeah, I'm super glad to have set that all up and have an actual track out there on these streaming platforms.
Are you in the process of making a video for it, right? You're trying to get audience involvement in there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so for the first one, we want to try and really include my audience as well, and anyone who engages with the track. I feel that's important to me, because without the whole audience engagement, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now. So yeah, it'll be really cool for my first video to have as many people as I can in it. So we've said anyone who wants to use the sound and stuff, we're going to try and feature as many people. So yeah, anyone who wants to be in it, you can just use the sound and we'll hopefully get you in there.
So probably rounding things off now, what have you got planned for the future? Obviously coming towards the end of the year now, but what's your plan for 2023 and beyond?
I think more live shows, more original releases. I really want to work on some original stuff and get that out there as well. And yeah, just grow my platform, grow my audience, and just make more music. And yeah, that's what I want to do.
You reckon even if you end up going to places even beyond where you're at now, you'll still end up doing those videos with your family and reacting to stuff, yeah?
I'd hope so. I really hope so. I think that's like a core element of like my identity now, and yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that.
And if people want to continue seeing those videos and your new tracks, etc., where's the best place for them to follow you?
They can go on TikTok, which is AJWAVY, or my Instagram, it's AJWAVY. And also all the streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube as well. I'd love to see people engage on there as well. So yeah, go check it out. It'll be cool.